Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty interesting stuff to go top over here, where we have now officially lost the PlayStation CEO, Jim Ryan. He is, as of I believe today, or more so in the next few hours, or technically I guess even right this second, is now officially gone from PlayStation as a whole. Now, if you guys kind of missed the news, Jim Ryan, which was the PlayStation CEO, has officially stepped down. He kind of gave everyone like a nice 6 months warning, and his very last day was pretty much like April 1st, that is when the brand new person taking over is 100% in charge. Now, I do believe as of right this second, though, they have been kind of like doing like a weird dual running, or like basically the current CEO, like which is now Hiroki Totoki, basically was like kind of taking over while Jim Ryan was probably giving like the information and details, to kind of like the awkward like, hey, like I'm kind of working in the same room as you for a little bit to make sure things running good as we try to find a new replacement type vibe. But basically right now, we are about to see a big new chapter when it comes to the PlayStation 5. So I'm going to go talk about what's going on with it, what's going to be changing, what we kind of expect, and who we like might even want to rumor on the next big PlayStation CEO might go and be. Now, obviously, as you guys probably know, when it comes to a brand new company, CEO, usually there's like a big change. Their kind of overall style's a bit more different. And I just want to talk about Hiroki Totoki as well. So, if you guys will sit back, relax, and enjoy, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We did Twitter and Twitching down below. We also have a really cool video tomorrow. So make sure you guys are on the lookout for both of our videos as of tomorrow. So give you guys some good hookups. So I appreciate y'all very much for watching there in the first place. So, hello, everyone. Hello. If you guys have missed it, as I've mentioned, we did go and lose Jim Ryan. Jim Ryan is gone. He's Zipzo. He is retired. He is chilling, and he is officially gonzo. So he basically announced his retirement back in September 2023. And, well, he was there for a long time. It was over 30 years. He was probably making some really good money. He also, at the same time, if you're a CEO, probably getting some pretty good stock too as well, even if he's not the CEO of Sony, but like PlayStation is one of their bigger companies. And at this point, he's well gone, saying, I've relished the opportunity to have a job I love in a very special company, working with great people and incredible partners. Ryan said at the time of the announcement, but I found it increasingly difficult to reconcile living in Europe and work in North America. Basically, he was always having issues traveling to and fro, and I will leave having the privilege to work on products that have touched millions of lives across the world. PlayStation will always be a part of my life, and I feel more optimistic than ever about the future of Sony. I want to thank Yoshida-san for placing so much trust in me and being an incredibly sensitive and supportive leader. So he's been the CEO since 2019, taking over from John Kodera, and it's kind of cool to go and see. But as of literally Monday, April 1st, which is technically tomorrow, the brand new Sony president, COO, and CFO Hiroki Totoki is going to be taken over on an interim basis. So that basically kind of means that he's just going to be like kind of taken on over, kind of like being like the temporary CEO. Because it's very intriguing, because when it comes to Hiroki Totoki is he is a businessman through and through. So he is a big boy. So after almost 30 years, basically, I've just mentioned, Jim Ryan is now getting out of retirement. He's going to hand over the reins over here to Sony Group Corporation President and COO Hiroki Totoki as of tomorrow, who will take on the role of interim CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment until a suitable successor can be found. In addition, Totoki will become the chairman of Sony Interactive Entertainment as soon as next month, ahead of the Ryan's departure. So basically, like as of right this second, he's in the groove. He's kind of already been working, and it's kind of one of those weird things where he's probably already probably gung-ho already. Like once you're kind of on that retirement vibe, you're going to office parties, you're just hanging out and chilling. You're clocking in just to vibe out. So basically, Hiroki Totoki is a big head honcho over here when it comes to Sony Group itself. And it's huge. So basically, if you guys are kind of curious, you basically have like the Sony Group Corporation, which dives into games and network services. So it's more of like, Sony Interactive Entertainment. This is like games, PlayStation. You have the music. Then you also have the pictures, so like all the movies out there. You have entertainment, technologies, and services. I think this is probably more of like, say, maybe cameras and TVs. Image and sensing solutions. They have semiconductor solutions that might be more of a technological side for the internals, and then also the financial services, which I do believe over time may have actually been kind of on the X-nay out, but think like, just selling stuff, whatever it might go and be. But anyway, so Totoki is kind of a big deal because he is the chief operating officer, the COO of the big group of Sony Group Corporation. So he's the second highest ranked executive in the company, right before the chairman and CEO of Kenshiro Yoshida too as well. So basically, this is like the number 2 in the entire company, taking over PlayStation as a whole. Like this guy, like he's not going to be there for 100%, because a lot of the times people are like, he just has a lot more stuff going on. which you got to give this guy some crazy credit. So whereas Jim Ryan was in charge of overseeing everything in the Sony Interactive Entertainment PlayStation umbrella, Totoki is part of the management structure overseeing all of Sony Group's various endeavors. So basically, Sony is the most profitable piece of the contributing pie, so PlayStation is the most profitable part, and thus the CEO of that particular vertical is always going to enjoy a certain prestige. So basically, this is kind of like, I don't want to say this is the true structure because it's more of like CEO, a bunch of Sony executives, and then probably like PlayStation CEO would be up there. Like then you're like all the CEOs of like the big groups of like the games, the movies, the music, all that. So especially because Jim Ryan was like the most profitable hedge of the business, and a lot of people use PlayStation's live service, etc., for PS Plus, all that. Basically for that, I'd put him at like a number like 3 if you kind of factor out the other executives of Sony Group itself. Kind of how Phil Spencer is a... Funny enough, although Xbox is a slightly different vibe, Phil Spencer is definitely high up there in the Xbox and Microsoft structure. Although I will say there is some other various departments of Microsoft that are bigger and make more money. So think about it this way. PlayStation is number 1 for Sony, and then Xbox, I'm not really sure, it might have been like 3 or 4 or something like that. So Phil Spencer still has a big weight, but in comparison to, say, Jim Ryan, he was technically higher up on the corporate totem pole as well. So basically, Totoki is only taking the job until someone else can be found. But kind of the big change of what's going on over here is that he is a very big business boy. Like, he is someone who wants to do a lot of stuff with it. So even had people over here saying when he joined back in 1987, he has gradually ascended to corporate ladder for the past 3 decades, working in various departments, but always was trending upwards. And his particular skill set is in the financial and restructuring end of things, having contributed to the launch of Sony Bank, as well as serving as CFO of Sony Network Communications. He describes himself as obsessed with growth. Now, it's very intriguing to go and note this too, because when it comes to restructuring, as you guys probably know, we've been seeing a lot of big business changes right now. So kind of the big topic of the video. We look at Bungie. Bungie's basically on the verge of being knocked out. We're seeing a lot of companies as of right this second, ever since Hiroki Totoki kind of took over, doing a lot more layoffs, trimming the fat of companies, and trying their best to go get the structure of the future of the company as a whole. And I do think that's a big deal to note. Like, he's basically saying like, hey, PlayStation's doing okay, it's making us the most money, but how do we fine tune this? How do we make this better? How do we enjoy ourselves more and just do everything a little bit nicer? So I kind of feel like this is a big change of what's going on. Like, I do think some of the layoffs and some of the big structural changes and even live service changes, or as well some of the bigger games that are being canceled, might actually be Hiroki Totoki's doing. Maybe Jim Ryan was kind of phoning it on in and wasn't really caring at the very tail end, or maybe his idea was kind of more gung-ho on live service. Well, maybe Hiroki Totoki's like, no, like, we have a PlayStation is doing good, but Sony as a whole needs to be doing fantastic. So what are staple things we can keep on doing to, once again, cut employment, et cetera, et cetera? It's kind of like one of those things where like he's maybe overseeing multiple parts of different companies, but for him to have a proper sit down and like kind of go through all the documents and all the financials and actually have that time to kind of think about it, where it's purely only on this PlayStation side, although it does seem like he has to do other duties as well. But it's kind of like one of those things where you have more information, you're more hands-on, you have to be hands-on because you're the intern CEO, and that might be why a lot of these changes have been coming in terms of future games that might be being worked on and games actually being cut, and also employees too as well. But they're also saying too, they're even saying like PlayStation's new chairman says the studios need to improve when it comes to business. There is room for improvement, and it seems like Hiroki Totoki is going hardcore, saying like, yeah, he's like the PlayStation's new chairman and Sony's current president was asked for his early assessments, working directly with the game's business during an earnings call on Wednesday, and told listeners he believes that studios can improve when it comes to business. And this is what goes on with this guy's brain. He's like, I want to make some money, I want to have a new structure, I want to see what's going on, and it's crazy. Although he was saying he was impressed with the motivation and creativity of studio workers, and he believed that there was room for improvement, though, when it comes to how to invest the money, how to plan development schedules, and basically how to go and make the overall business make better growth. And that's kind of what I think it comes to come down to, like him having more changes, to have more of a fine-tuned game, maybe also whip people into shape to get them to like make games that have proper, like, consistent, realistic goals for development, and also not be trying to be like, we might make this game, work on it for 2 years and nothing comes of it because it lacks direction. So it does kind of seem like this might be where like the intern CEO is trying to like cut down and make sure things are going hardcore. And it's saying like he's been there for a little bit too as well, but this is why I'm kind of noticing, because these changes have been ongoing for a little bit of time as well. He's trying to say like with the leadership, have as many meetings as possible with the management teams, trying to go visit the studios. And we've even heard in these like the stories that there was Sony executives at Bungie And this is the new PlayStation CEO literally saying, I have visited studios and I'm trying to optimize the business. And this is probably what's leading towards these big Bungie dramas and everything else. So it's very interesting to go and see the future because he wants to have better growth, better profitability, but as well, it also might mean that some people might be losing their jobs. Some people may not be as like a little bit loose, and they may also be potentially rough where it might make more mainstay games like God of War or Horizons instead of allowing more fun games as well. Because it does seem like a lot of these projects have been cut in these past few months, and I'm not really sure how entirely this is his fault or not, but it's intriguing to go and see because they want new change going forward. So it's kind of been crazy to go and see this. And as well, there also is a Jim Orion bobblehead in case you guys want to get us on PlayStation Stars. Not sure if you guys want this, but if you guys want it, it is now there. It's a little bit creepy, but at the end of the day, it's there. Make sure you guys are subscribing. Give me your thoughts and comments on all this down below. I appreciate y'all so much for watching. Swing by the Twitter and Twitch, and we have some fun videos for tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that.